Hey everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Whip Your Deck Out. Today we're talking about one of my favorite games of all time, and it's one that bridges the line between card game and board game. And as you can tell by this stack here, what I'm talking about is Disney's Villainous. Now, right here, as far as I can tell, is every expansion for Disney's Villainous, and let's just break it down, starting with the most recent one. This is Perfectly Wretched. It's got a Target exclusive game piece. I'm assuming the Cruella de Vil one looks slightly different, and that's why the sleeve on the box is different. But this is a new one, and it's pretty great. It's got Cruella de Vil, Mother Gothel, and Pete, and they're pretty interesting. This one is Evil Comes Prepared, and it is Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove, Scar from The Lion King, and Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective. This one is Wicked to the Core. It is Hades, Dr. Facilier from The Princess and the Frog, and The Evil Queen. And that's another good one. And this is the original box. This one is called The Worst Takes It All. And it's got Captain Hook, Maleficent, Jafar, Ursula, Prince John, and the Queen of Hearts. What I think I love the most about these is the fact that this main game starts with 6 people, and each of these starts with 3. But you can actually play each of these standalone expansions completely by themselves, or you can take like pieces from this one and then play them with pieces from this one or this one and stuff like that. So basically, if you have all of these sets and you felt like putting that kind of time in, you could actually play with 15 people. It would be a little nuts, but I'm a giant Disney nerd, so this is my kind of thing. Let me just do a breakdown of what this game is. I'm gonna open this up real quick and see. You'll start out with the instruction book, and it's pretty intensive, but it's once you figure it out, it's not that hard to do. And they have these game pieces, which are really pretty. They're made of plastic, but they're pretty darn strong because they're thick, and I haven't broken one yet, even though we've actually, look at these. And basically, you have these power tokens, and those are built into what, your specific villain's end goal is. And basically we have a couple of locks because there are certain characters that certain places on their game board are actually locked behind certain prerequisites. Some aren't, but basically you have this, which is where all of your power tokens go. That'll sit in the middle. And then we have each of these boards, which are really cool. They have really good artwork on them, and then they open up and there's locations. And basically, in order to do your villain's end goal, which is always their objective is always printed on the left side of the board, so you always know what you're trying to do. And these are the places they can go to do that. Of course, on the top of each location, there's an area where fate cards will go to stop them from being able to do certain actions on each of these places. Which I think is a really cool mechanic, but we'll get into fate cards in a minute. So those are all of the boards. Like, look at these. And they're all very distinct and stylish. And then when we go down into the cards, we have each player has not only a standard deck which will help them complete their objectives, and they're also color coded to the color of their actual deck. Like this is Captain Hook's, and Captain Hook's is... No, that's Ursula's. There's Captain Hook's. See, he's got his hat on it with the big feather coming off, and his cards are the same color. And what's cool about that is these are cards that will help your character reach their objectives, but there's a card that other people can play, which are fate cards. And these are white for every character, and basically when another character can fate you, you take the top 2 cards off of there, and then they get to pick which one they want to do to you, whether it's putting a hero on one of those positions to stop you from being able to do stuff without having to vanquish that character. I think that's pretty cool. In this little thing here, we have the villain objectives so that you know what every other villain is trying to do, what each position on your board allows you to do when you go there. And then we have the villain objective things, which are basically your villain guide. It tells you what specific things you need to do to your board because you're playing as a certain character, and what you need to do in order to win. Like, it lays out a better version of the objective. And basically, what I love about this game is that no 2 games of it are going to be the same. Like, your villains are going to be different. Your and basically, like, this white token is your fate token, and basically if you get fated by someone, like, that will sit by you and you can't get fated again until somebody fates someone else, and then it can return to you. So I think that's a really good balanced mechanic. And I just want to thank Ravensburger for these games, because it's not an ad. I just really like them. That's why I have all of them. I just wanted to give this game a shout out because it is really fun, especially if you're a giant Disney nerd like me. You're going to have an absolute blast. And I just wanted to also give a shout out to my favorite character in the game so far, and that is Radigan from The Great Mouse Detective, because he has one of the coolest objectives in the entire game. Let me find it. Yeah, Radigan is here. He's in the Evil Comes Prepared expansion, and his whole thing, his objective, it doesn't say it on the board because it is a dual tier objective. Let me find it. So it has a special card that goes on top of where the objective is, and his first objective is start your turn with the Robot Queen at Buckingham Palace. And that can be really tricky. It can be really insane. But if somebody steals the Robot Queen, kills her off and whatnot, then the card flips over. And Radigan goes from the superior mind to the rat. And then all that your objective is when you become Radigan the Rat is to kill Basil. Just like in the movie. Like, it's one of those things that's like, the objectives for each villain in these games is basically, oh, you know that thing they did in the movie? Try to do that. Only you're not just going against every other, or every hero from the film you were in. You're also going against the other villains, which I think is fantastic. Like, it's one of those things that's just like, okay, this totally makes sense for a game. Like, it's so much fun. I didn't like show you like a full breakdown of everything, because I think if you want to see more of that, I can do like individual breakdowns of the actual games themselves, so I can show you what the villains are and what their specific objectives are, maybe some gameplay tips on how to make your time with these games even more enjoyable than they would be just playing them as a fan of Disney and a fan of card games. But you know what? Quite frankly, these games are great, and there's some people who aren't gonna like it. But quite frankly, like, these are some of my favorites. And I will continue to tell you guys about my favorite card games and how awesome they are, and like why you need to play them. And you can listen to that or not. But if you want to see more of me talking about games like this, go ahead and give me a like and a subscribe. If you don't, I hope I don't know, I hope you guys have a great time. But I really hope to see you again on the Heart of Geek channel, on Whip Your Deck Out, or TLDR, or my buddy's new show QLA. We really hope to see you again here because, quite frankly, we just like spreading the news about some of the geekiest stuff ever made. And if you're a Disney nerd, this is some of that. So, I hope you guys have a great day, a great week, a great month, and a great year. Bye-bye!